Dobrodošli, moje ime je Azra Hadžić. U ovom izdanju emisije govorimo o nastojanjima pojedinaca da očuvaju prirodnu te kulturno-historijsku baštinu u svijetu. U nastavku gledajte. Prijeti li luksuzni turizam ostavštini Boba Marleyja, borba mještana za čuvenu plažu. Drevni hramovi na istočnoj obali Tajlanda na udaru klimatskih promjena. Raskošni uzorci i simbolika, tradicionalni vez triz priča je o palestinskom identitetu, otpornosti i osjećaju zajedništva. Nakon godina progona, generacije rastafarijanaca utočište su pronašle na plaži Bob Marley na Jamajci. Sada svoju zemlju i pristup plaži pokušavaju zaštititi od investitora u luksuzna turistička odmarališta. Porodica Thomas, čije 4 generacije žive tamo, bori se zadržati pristup tom malom, kako ga zovu, komadu raja.
Chances are you know who Bob Marley is. But what do you actually know about what he believed and where he came from?
Yes, man, I know Bob. Bob was for poor people, you know, man. Bob loving people, man.
Well, my life not important to me. My life is only important if me can help plenty people.
You probably associate him with reggae and, of course, Jamaica. You might even know that he was part of a religious and social movement called Rastafari. But many people don't realize that Rastafari have been historically persecuted in Jamaica for their anti-establishment rhetoric and so-called threat to the British colonial order.
You will hear very horrific stories. They have to take to mountains and forests, you know, and hide. Some of them had to remove their dreadlocks from their head in order to survive.
This leads us to Bob Marley Beach, a historical refuge for generations of Rastafari, where some residents are fighting to protect their land from the expanding tourism industry.
Bob would have burned them out, man, and sure them said that's not right, man. That's why we have to try wall it.
The Thomases are a Rastafari family that have been living on Bob Marley Beach for 4 generations. But in 2019, a company called the Wolf Group bought multiple properties surrounding the beach with plans to build a $200 million luxury resort.
The Wolf Group is right around us like a circle. We're in the middle of it. When you look at the map, that's what it shows. It's a privilege growing up on this piece of sand. It shouldn't be whereas, they can't go because of something, money especially. Jamaica full of so much stress. We have to have so much for these stress and we go mad.
In 2022, the Thomases successfully secured their land title through adverse possession, a law protecting long-term squatters' rights.
So my mom, my dad, brothers, sisters, and grands, and niece and nephew. Yeah, we all live here.
Kamala and her mother are 2 of approximately 14 members of their family who live on the beach. They run a small shop and restaurant to make ends meet, and they refuse to charge an entry fee for visitors.
We're keeping it free and affordable, yes. Yeah, they just come and invade and we have the little tuck shop there. They just patronize us by 2 juice and thing and them beard. We don't charge them. When they come and eat our food, they say, it's the best steamed fish, the best fish I ever eat. Oh, the fish was lovely. 100 out of 100. And I say, yes, give thanks, thank you. I got to go and tell the chef.
But the Thomases are worried their lifestyle is being threatened, as the Wolf Group bought up properties around them, including a property overlapping with the Sole Access Road and another where a neighboring Rastafari family resides. The company has said it has no plans to cut off the road to Bob Marley Beach. But the Thomases and other community members like local fishermen want this access to be guaranteed in law by the courts.
This is a part of my title. So this is a diagram of our piece of the property. But when we looked at, Wolf diagram that they have, we can see where there's no access to this road anymore. So we are fighting for this road so we can have access, because we can't fly and we can't swim to do business. We have to travel by, vehicle like everybody else.
The Wolf Group was registered in Jamaica, but its director's address was listed in Miami. The company has denied allegations that it's trying to evict the families or block beach access. But it has been in legal proceedings with Kamala's neighbors, the Stevensons, to deny their claim to the property. It previously sent a notice to vacate to one of the family members, but it later withdrew, saying they hope to come to a settlement with the family.
So no, we're currently in court and we're contending that. We made this road and want it to stay free for everybody, public access. Wolf Company said they own this hill, right? You can show on the map that they own a piece of this hill. And then this side, this is being contended in court. So this is where the Stevens are. They said they own this property too. It's also written on the map that this is the Wolf Company.
According to extensive oral histories collected by an anthropologist, Jake Homiak, Rastafari began arriving around Bob Marley Beach in the 1960s, fleeing persecution in Jamaica's capital, Kingston. Bob Marley was even said to have been mentored by a Rastafari elder on the beach itself.
In the late 60s, when Rasta was run out of town, you know, by the government, this is where they came, right here at Bob Marley Beach. So the culture of it is Rastafari refuge space. So we're here as the gatekeepers to preserve this space to reignite that flame.
Rastafari started in Jamaica in the 1930s and now encompasses multiple sects and belief systems. It loosely began as a blend of biblical practices, African traditions, and Pan-Africanism. Devin Taylor is a Rasta who helps lead a movement for public beach access rights in Jamaica, including at Bob Marley Beach.
Rastafari is a movement for the liberation of the minds of the descendants of enslaved Africans and a pushback at colonialism and systems of oppression.
Jamaica was under British rule for over 300 years and was central to the Caribbean slave trade. Some estimate that over 1 million enslaved Africans were sold on the island. And Rastafari was born from this history, more specifically in communities of individuals who successfully escaped slavery, known as Maroons.
And if you miss that point by not seeing that, we are liberating our minds, trying to liberate our thinking, our culture, trying to reclaim who we are and who we were before transatlantic slavery and chattel slavery, then they would not have understood, Rastafari.
Rastafari was also heavily influenced by Jamaican-born civil rights activist Marcus Garvey. He advocated for Black nationalism and Black economic independence. He prophesied that a Black king would be crowned in Africa and that he would become the Redeemer. This led to one of Rastafari's core beliefs, that Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was a holy figure or messiah who would liberate the African diaspora from European domination. Rastafari pushed back against British colonialism in many ways, including following a natural diet and lifestyle, rejecting capitalism, and advocating for the African diaspora's repatriation to Africa.
The early leaders within Jamaica actually never embraced Rastafari and tried to, kill them. And so the story is bloody, the attack and the assault on Black bodies.
Rastafari suffered various abuses by the government, including police raids, prosecution for treason, and forced cutting of their locks, which they grow as a religious practice based on a passage from the Bible. In the 60s, there was a mass crackdown of Rastafari, which prompted many to flee to rural areas.
The Rasta community was being threatened by the government, and they had to leave Kingston. This is where they came. When they come here, the road actually stops in the middle somewhere out there. There was nowhere to come to where we are now. You understand? If you have a bicycle, you'd have to leave it. That's how bad it was.
In 1963, police forces rounded up over 150 Rastafari men, beating many of them and killing at least 3 in what is now called the Coral Gardens incident.
Rasta from day one is like we say nature, wild and free. We know how to survive, So when they left Foreshore Road, Bakawa, they come here for refuge, make it a home, We're preserving it, preservation. We want to take care of nature because it's been good to us. So I want to keep it. I keep emphasizing the natural because too much things now is being destroyed through man-made. So we keep it like this. We work with these things. So this can stay as long as you just keep putting a little paint on them, they can stay forever. So we don't want to get it too commercialized with big buildings. I don't want to keep it for John public. Jamaicans can come, both in the diaspora and tourists alike, come here and get that beautiful ambience and naturality.
The historical and cultural significance of Bob Marley Beach is well documented. But residents say the government is not doing enough to protect their lands and their legacy. Instead, they say their image and culture has been commodified for the benefit of the tourism industry and the government.
So my family, was featured in this book. So this photo is showing Rastafari in Jamaica. And in this photo, I can see my mom, my dad, brothers, and sisters. They use them as an example. So it says Rastafari in Jamaica. This was actually a picture on Bob Marley Beach. This is definitely part of how tangible the thing is, how legit it is, and how important it is to preserve. It is history, you understand? And we need to carry on that legacy. We need to show these things.
In previous reporting, AJ Plus revealed how tourism development is cutting off local residents like fishermen and souvenir vendors from Jamaica's beaches. According to the calculations by Devon's organization, JABEM, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public. This history of exclusion from Jamaica's beaches is what makes Devon and the Thomases skeptical of the future plans for Bob Marley Beach. While the Wolf Group has not revealed any plans to deny them access, they want assurance through the law.
Once the coastal lands have been sold, to a private developer, then these lands are fenced. Concrete walls go up and the public right of access is lost. We have never seen any development that allows the people of the Jamaica to walk over their lands and get to the beach. And we see hotels as new plantation. And that kind of economic model is taking root in our country.
Tourism is a central part of Jamaica's economy, and the industry leans heavily on Rastafari culture, like reggae and Bob Marley. But Rastafari, like the Thomases, don't feel like the benefits reach them.
What people are working for, what you're making in a hotel, you can't spend a night in there. So it's like slavery all over. You understand? And we don't want to go back to that. But no, people are feeling threatened, not sure where the livelihood is going to end up. Because the government always, most time, have things their way. And we say equal rights and justice for all. We, the community, built here. We give it the name. And we do the upkeep of this space. So if you're coming to do something like this, why not come together? My favorite part about it is definitely getting up to this every morning. Getting up to that fresh air. I can just take a dip. I think that's the most special, greatest part of it. Can just have access to this, honestly. Yeah, man.
Drevni hramovi na istočnoj obali Tajlanda u velikoj su opasnosti od rastućeg nivoa mora i erozije tla. Lokalne zajednice ulažu napore kako bi izgradile bolju odbranu od ekstremnih vremenskih prilika potaknutih klimatskim promjenama. Priča iz okolice glavnog grada Bangkoka.
Monah uzalud pokušava potisnuti poplavnu vodu. Ovo je postala godišnja pojava u mnogim područjima duž obale Tajlanda. Porast nivoa mora, žešće oluje i obilne padavine, sve veći utjecaj globalnih klimatskih promjena. Čak i u ovom hramu, 50 km u unutrašnjosti, porast nivoa mora ima razoran utjecaj. Na zidovima hrama su 400 godina stari murali koji prikazuju 10 reinkarnacija Bude. Opat kaže da su posljednjih godina znatno oštećeni zbog slane vode koja je prodirala kroz temelje i uskoro bi mogli potpuno nestati.
อันนี้ความจริงเขาบูรณะไปนิดหนึ่งแล้วนะถ้าเนี่ยตอนนี้กรมศิลป์ปีที่แล้วเนี่ยได้งบกรมศิลป์แต่ได้งบนิดเดียวจะบูรณะเขาบูรณะไปแล้วถ้าไม่งั้นปูนตรงนี้ก็จะเป็นคล้ายๆกับลักษณะข้างหน้าที่เราได้เห็นที่มันหลุดลุ่ยออกมากลัวมันจะร่วงออกมาหมด
Krivac je kanal koji teče izvan hrama. Prije 20 godina ovo je bila slatka voda, a sada slana voda dolazi s plimom. Na obali još jedan hram pod prijetnjom je uslijed porasta nivoa mora. Prije 20 godina ovdje je živjela uspješna zajednica, sada su ostali samo telefonski stubovi od onoga što je bio glavni put.
This temple on the coast has almost lost the battle against rising sea levels. Today the entrance here, 20 years ago, it was all the way down there, 1.5 meters below where I am now.
Visanu je odrastao ovdje, ali je sa ostatkom svoje zajednice morao preseliti u unutrašnjost. Pokazuje mi štetu na zidovima hrama i strukturi nastalu uslijed korozije. Ali oni koji su ostali kažu da neće napustiti ono što je preostalo od njihove zajednice.
เลยที่จะเลือกที่จะป้องกันง่ายกว่าทั้งที่ว่ามันจะแพงกว่าการที่จะไปปลูกใหม่ก็ตามแต่มันมีคุณค่าทางด้านจิตใจคุณค่าทางประวัติศาสตร์แล้วก็คุณค่าทางด้านสิ่งแวดล้อมที่มันเป็นตัวชี้วัดเรื่องการกัดเซาะใช้ฟางให้กับชุมชนครับ
Sada monasi naporno rade kako bi poništili štetu od korozije i izgradili bolje barikade protiv valova. U borbi protiv klimatskih promjena vjera je jedna stvar, ali ona uključuje i mnogo napornog rada.
Nacionalni muzej Indonezije nešto više od godinu je bio zatvoren za posjetitelje nakon što je razorni požar zahvatio zgradu 16. septembra 2023. uništavajući mnoge artefakte. U obnovljenom prostoru izloženo je više od 2500 repatriranih predmeta koje su Nizozemci otuđili tokom kolonijalnog perioda.
Ova zgrada u središnjoj Džakarti ima povijest stariju od same indonezijske nacije. Otvorena je za javnost krajem 1800-ih i službeno je 1970-ih nazvana Nacionalnim muzejom. Međutim, 2023. električne instalacije su prouzrokovale požar koji je oštetio ili uništio neke od neprocjenjivih artefakata.
Data yang kita rilis juga di pameran yang bisa kita saksikan tadi ada 900-an koleksi ya. Itu semua bercampur ya, dari mulai materijal organik.
Muzej je bio zatvoren godinu radi obnove i popravaka zgrade te restauracije dijela zbirki. Postoji čak i prostorija ispunjena oštećenim predmetima, na primjer brončanim kipovima koji su postali ljubičasti nakon požara i tradicionalnim tekstilnim predmetima i drvenim konstrukcijama koji su uništeni do neprepoznatljivosti. Sada je osigurano više aparata za gašenje požara i popravljeni su električni sustavi, ali neki kažu da je situacija sa požarom navela i na preispitivanje svrhe muzeja, te stvaranje uređenijeg, interaktivnijeg iskustva za posjetitelje.
Sekarang sedang melakukan transformasi yang cukup mendasar ya, fundamental di Museum Nasional Indonesia yang kemarin juga baru dibuka, dan tentu belajar dari pengalaman masa lalu kita menyiapkan.
Muzej je otvorio svoja vrata izložbom pod nazivom Repatriasi, što znači repatriacija, koja slavi povratak povijesnih artefakata iz Nizozemske u Indoneziju. Neki od tih predmeta bili su u Nizozemskoj kao dio diplomatske kulturne razmjene, ali većina je odnesena tokom kolonijalnog perioda.
Before returning these artifacts, the Dutch government noted that many of these items should not have been in the Netherlands in the first place, stating that during the colonial period, cultural artifacts were often looted or changed hands involuntarily.
Među vraćenim predmetima su 4 hinduističke i budističke skulpture, odnesene s Jave u Nizozemsku u prvoj polovici 19. stoljeća.
Healing dari proses benda-benda tersebut yang dulunya dibawa ke sana secara paksa. Indonesia tidak tertarik untuk.
Više od 80 predmeta nedavno je vraćeno, većina još nije izložena, jer osoblje muzeja vrijedno radi na otpakivanju predmeta, među kojima su i ova vrata, uzeta iz drevnog kraljevstva Bali. Drugi izloženi predmeti uključuju artefakte koje je Nizozemska vratila u novije vrijeme, među kojima je drevno oružje i ekstravagantni zlatni i dijamantski nakit.
Ljudi koji rade na lokalitetu svjetske baštine UNESCO-a u glavnom gradu Alžira kažu da njihov zanat izumire. Stoljećima su tradicionalne umjetnosti i zanati opstajali u uskim uličicama Kazbe, poznate tradicionalne četvrti oko alžirske citadele. No manjak interesa i pokroviteljstva kao da stavlja tačku na ovakav način života. U nastavku naš sagovornik dijeli iskustvo dragocjenog zanata te izražava bojazan da bi mogao biti pripadnik posljednje generacije kožara u ovom kraju.
هذه المهنة في الحقيقة هي مهنة عائلية ورثناها على جد بابا ومن بعد بابات بابا ومن بعد بابا ومن بعد احنا صافي احنا الجيل الرابع فيها. ومن بعد عبر هذه السنين اكتسبنا خبرة، كانت عندنا معلومات سابقة وزدنا اكتسبنا بالممارسة تكتسب خبرة ونزيدوا نتعلموا. لهذا كل حاجة ندبغوا بها فيها قاعدة. القاعدة هذه تقول لك كل حاجة اللي يعني دير ينطاش في الحوايج وما تروحش، حب يقول دبغت كل حاجة. عندنا حتى مثلا أعشاب خاطر هذاك الازرق ثاني كنزيدوا له مثلا الزعفران يعطينا الاخضر، كنزيدوا له البيطراف يعطينا الفيولي يعني البنفسجي. كان عندنا تقريبا واحد 12 ولا 13 خاطر كانوا عمومي كذلك. الور هادو هما المحلات عندهم تقريبا من بدايه القرن التاسع عشر. كان يعني شو يقولوا بابا يعني جدي انا ما خدمناش عند الاستعمار الفرنسي، احنا عندنا حرفتنا نمارسوها ونخدموا الناس، يعني نخدموا والحمد لله رب العالمين. وانا كملت فيها على خاطر حبا فيها. ثم في كل جيل يضيف لهذا الصنعه يعني اشياء. هذا الحرفه في الحقيقه راهي هي سيت اون باسيون نخدم بها، اما باش نعيش بها ما نقدرش نعيش بها. هذه الصنعه اللي تشوف فيها راهي زايله لا محاله، كما كاع الصناعات، كل الصناعات اللي راحت. خاطر البنات ما علمتهم تبقى مرأة في المجتمع الجزائري، ربما تعلم ولادها ربما، فهمت؟ مي بصح بالنسبة للذكور ما كاش، وحنا عائلة كبيرة بزاف وعندنا بزاف الذكور، بصح ما يجوش يتعلموا. أنا نقول لك بالك آخر العنقود. شوف القصبة عندها تاريخ، عندنا القصبة وعندنا روح القصبة. كل حاجة تمت بصلة القصبة تعتبر من روح القصبة. حنايا كي نخدموا حاجة نديروا فيها كتاوة عنده رمزية عظيمة، عنده اون غرون سيمبوليزاسيون. عندنا كي دخلت فرنسا حولته الى كنيسه وقتلت فيه 4000 معتصم، وصباح الاستقلال حولوه الى مسجد. القصبه سميت قصبه كيما القصبه، فيها دي زيطاج يعني فيها طوابق، يعني البناء الاسلامي والبناء تاعنا يعني اللي عنده علاقه مع شخصيتنا، لان هذه المعالم تمثلنا وتمثل شخصيتنا وتمثل بلادنا، لهذا نديروها في كل المنتوجات تاعنا. والانسان كي يدي معاه كما نقولوا منتوج تاعنا يذكروا بالقصبه تيذكار، والحمد لله رب العالمين. وهذيك المعالم كاع تمثلنا وتمثل شخصيتنا وتاريخنا.
Tatrizom, tradicionalnim vezom, Palestinci izražavaju svoj identitet, otpornost i osjećaj zajedništva. Pojedinim ženama koje su bile prisiljene napustiti Gazu, tatriz pomaže da lakše prevaziđu teška osjećanja zbog napuštanja doma i svega onoga kroz što prolazi njihov narod.
Šav po šav, ove raseljene palestinske žene održavaju drevnu tradiciju. Umjetnost tatriza, oblika veza, prenosi se sa koljena na koljeno.
كنت بشتغل في مشغل أمي تطريز أنا وكل خواتي وإخواني لحد ما كل واحد اتجوز. برضو علمناه لأولادنا، أنا أولادي كلهم بطرزوا مع جوزي، علمته التطريز وكلهم بطرزوا. كانت يعني حياتنا حلوة بتجنن قبل الحرب، كنا عايشين ومكيفين وفيش إشي يعني مأثر علينا.
Žene su donijele ovu praksu u Katar, gdje su pobjegle od izraelskog rata u Gazi, sa raskošnim uzorcima i simboličnim značenjem, više je od samog veza.
كنت أعرف بس عمريش اشتغلت أي حاجة، فكنت أروح عندها أقول لها لا والله حبيت هذا الشغل بديش هذا صعب، فشوي شوية صرت أشتغل. كل ما أشتغل حاجة أحس حالي يعني نفسيا والله إني أنا بحقق إشي حلو. فكل مرة ولا عملت أي إشي زي حد، كل يعني من يجي على بالي إشي أعمله. عملت خارطة فلسطين.
Sa iglom i koncem ove žene koriste i čuvaju tradicionalne uzorke, ali i formiraju zajednicu u raseljeništvu. Sastaju se 2 puta sedmično i kažu da pronalaze utjehu u zajedničkom praktikovanju tatriza. Hidaja Al-Aga se vezom bavi 20 godina i kaže da joj je sada potrebniji nego ikad.
أنا بصراحة لما إجيت هنا ما كان يعني صح كان أشياء اللي أنا عاملاهم بغزة يعني مشتغلاهم جبتهم معي للصدفة والله سبحان الله هيك ربنا رايد يعني. لما اجيت هنا بدي اشتغل، حاسة اني انا لازم يعني اشتغل اشي زي كده. مجرد ما لقيت على الموقع هنا على المجموعة اللي احنا هنا المجمع.
Od motiva inspirisanih prirodom do geometrijskih oblika, svaki uzorak je jedinstvena priča o miru, otpornosti i osjećaju zajedništva. Mnogi od njih isto tako slave zemlju sa koje su protjerani. Ovi uzorci predstavljaju dijelić njihove domovine koji su uspjeli ponijeti sa sobom.
هذا نظام كاب هيك أنا عاملة هذه الثروة هنا أحكي لك على الغرز يعني هذه غرزة النفنوف وهذه القرنفل وهذه برضه نفس الإشي النفنوف هذه الثروات أنا عاملاه هذا عملته زي كده.
In the ruins of Gaza, almost all aspects of life have been shattered, but the intangible and cultural practice of tatriz is far more difficult to erase, as long as there are Palestinian women to pass the skills and Palestinian women willing to learn. Lina Abu Akle, Al Jazeera, Doha.
Ovom pričom završavamo emisiju. Pratite nas na web stranici te YouTube kanalu. Doviđenja!